Hello to my Capricorns. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. Let's get into it. All right. The moon is in Libra. When you watch this video. This video is for the 4th of October through the 11th of October. So you may be watching it on the 3rd when the moon is in Libra. So let's get into it. Libra is all about balance. So when you think about the moon in Libra, it just means to practice receiving, trusting, and asking for equal and just exchange. Just in your relationships in general, right? So that you're not pouring more into your relationships, or you're receiving more, receiving a bunch of toxicity into your soil. You all are receiving signs. So you're not in receipt of a bunch of toxicity that's really making you sick about other people, where you're just like, okay, I don't know what to believe. I'm so confused. Remember, we're still in the year of 8. This is a year of wealth. Do you want a wealth of toxicity, garbage, trash dumped into you? Or do you want a wealth of creative ideas and how to make money? Like the hard work that you all put in, blood, sweat, and tears that you all put in to create, right? So create the things that you love to do. So be careful of who you allow in your ear gate and eye gate. Allow in your ear gate and eye gate. Yeah, moon in Libra. Make sure you are not. Libra is ruled by Venus, the goddess of love, pleasure, art, music, aesthetics. Venus rules Taurus, and it also rules Libra, but rules it differently. You can look it up if you want to. You can see how Venus rules both of those zodiac signs differently. So you could have a moon sign in Taurus or moon in Libra. But you want to make sure you're not on the dark side of those emotions, where it could cause you to be in receiving mode of energies who are vain, vengeful, green with envy, and trying to disrupt other people's peace. So you got to be careful, with that. So let's get into it. You have your own water, meaning your own creativity, your own intuition, your own emotional attachments to energies. So let's get it. Let's see what's in your cards. Talking to you wherever Capricorn is in your birth chart. Yeah. Capricorn is in your birth chart. Yep. All right. Even if you're a cusper, you can look up cusp signs. Here we have the 2 of Cups here. So somebody feels like, your soul is just kind of like you have soulmate, like your soul is picking up on something, right? Here we also have the 5 of Swords here. Yeah. And so there's definitely some energies that are playing a game of chess, a game of chess, like black or white. You got to be real careful with that, because water, it takes the shape of whatever you put it in, right? The emotions take the shape of whatever you put it in. So somebody feels like somebody's playing a game of chess, and like, okay, your move is next, right? But here's the thing, we talk about like your emotional state. That's not a game. Your mental health is not a game. It's just as important as your physical health. So Source is saying, yeah, here we have the 2 of Pentacles here. A mask needs to come off. Let's remove the mask. Right? And recognize hard work. Something else is going on. Let's take the mask off. Somebody's wearing a mask. You got 2 energies around you that's masking something. It's 2 energies or 2 types of energy that's masking something. And, masking something else, some kind of emotion, feelings. They masking some kind of feelings, emotions, subconscious habits, moods, sexuality, sensuality, masking something about, having you to play these mind games. Right? Here we have the 6 of Swords. So I do feel like you're going to get off the fence of overthinking something, and you're going to put it into something. Here we have the 7 of Swords here, and then we also have the 10 of Swords, right? Sword energy connects us with our heart. The element of air connects us with our heart chakra, right? So when you're dealing with energies when we talk about 2 scales, we talk about Libra, right? When you're talking about the number 2, in numerology, 2 is really, really, really important, because 2 is a number for peace, balance, unity, and so it's strong emphasis on balance, right? A strong emphasis on balance, right? peacemakers, wanting harmony to prevail, all of those things. So when you're dealing with energies who are engaged in just a bunch of negativity about people, this is where you use common sense for real. Like looking at this, when you're around a bunch of negative conversations about anybody, this is what Source really wants somebody to understand. Doesn't matter who it's about. If you're sitting in a meeting at work and your manager is like, this person, they just a weak link in the chain. Look, you need to take that to the office and talk to that person directly. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, really, like, I don't even want to be a part of that. I know how it would make me feel. Like, you're putting yourself in a human, like in human form. You know how it feels when people talk about people behind their backs. Like, I'd rather not be a part of that. Yeah, I just kind of want to, I just don't want my name to even be tied to something, right? That's kind of where you are with something. This we got 5 and 6 is 5 and 6 is 11. 11 is a master number. So those two pillars there, somebody's saying, okay, it's time for me to get off the fence of my overthinking something, and I need to move on from something. I need to follow suit. I need to move on, and I need to close out something. Even if people think that you're holding on to secrets or think you're hiding something or whatever the case may be, you don't want to be in the air of energies who are talking negatively about other people. If they can't talk to them, remove yourself from the equation. This cycle right here, we're in eclipse season right now, which can be a very sensitive time for everybody. Remember, we just closed out a cycle. We had a full moon in Pisces, which is the I believe sign, and it's also known, this sign is known for its compassion, right? So Source is saying you're learning how to believe in yourselves again. You're really learning how to follow your star. You're learning how to recognize that you have purpose here on planet Earth. You do not want to sit up under people who are just sitting around talking about, negatively talking about other people, because guess what? See this 10 of swords with these swords removed from somebody's back. You already know how it feels. Everybody knows how that feels. You're like, wow, you say you love this person, but you sitting around talking about them behind their back like that? Like, that's love? That is very confusing. It sounds like, looking at the cards here, it's like watching a person hurt another person and justify, I did that to you because I love you. Time to redefine love and do a heart chakra cleanse. I did that to you because I love you. I betrayed you, but I'm still calling you my friend. Family members talking about their own kids behind their backs because they say, I love you. We just family. That's how we do. We just talk about it. I mean, we didn't mean any harm by it, but you walking away feeling hurt. Redefine love. That's not agape love. So Source is trying to help somebody learn how to move away from that kind of stuff. Like, even if people think that you have secrets or you're holding on to something or you know something other people don't know, and they call you deceitful behind your back, you don't want to be a part of something. That's the heart chakra out of balance right here. So that's the Source is trying to help somebody learn how to do, is like, if you have been on the receiving end of people talking about you behind your back, why, as a very wise zodiac sign, would you sit there and be on the receiving end of somebody talking about somebody else behind their back? Why would you do that to yourself? So somebody can say, well, yeah, Capricorn agreed. That's what we're looking at right here. That's what we're looking at right here. So you see this clown mask right here? Some energies are masking something. And here you are sitting there, I got to put the armor on. I got to deal with all the sorrows. I got to go into battle. I got to fight. I got to fight what? Get up and walk away from the table. That's your fight right there. I'm not sitting there listening to that. That's you. I'm not listening to that. You talking about you love somebody. So Source needs to say you to see it from a higher frequency. Somebody's talking about somebody's sexuality. You see this rainbow here? This is somebody's talking about somebody's sexuality. Ace of Swords. That's where your breakthrough is going to come in. That is where your breakthrough is going to come in. Because you're asking, what is the motive? In 2024, who for real cares about somebody's sexuality? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a part of the world where people can't talk. It could be. It could be. So I'm being sensitive to that. But who is talking about this right here in 2024 is like like we're not each other's creators. We're not each other's creators. So source is saying something about your energy. You know what people have been saying about you behind your back, and your breakthrough, instead of feeling like you're having a breakdown in communication, feel like you're having a nervous breakdown, is going to help you to push back from a table and say, I don't want to be a part of the conversation. If it involves hurting another human being who has a heart just like I do, and I'm connected, and where everything on this planet is connected, whether it's my friend, my colleague, my spouse, my whomever, that's not love. That's the frequency that you're on. Yeah. If it involves somebody has to walk in a room with all this armor on, because they don't know when an argument is going to break out, they don't know when the swords are going to come out, somebody going to cuss them out or go on. So it's just saying you don't want to even be a part of it. 7 of Swords. Yeah. So that's what 7, it's going to start making sense to somebody why people move on with their lives, because they don't want to be a part of that. They don't want to be a part of it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Aries? I'm thinking about the full moon that we have in Aries, but y'all know what I'm saying, Capricorn? If you've ever sat around people who say they love their family, but they're talking negatively about, they can't even get out the room good, and they're talking about them behind their back, but smiling in their faces, sources like, you don't want to even be contaminated by that, because you'll start thinking that's the norm. You're inhaling that air. That's the air that you're breathing. You give off that same air. You'll give off that same, like guilty by association. You hanging out with them. So even if you never say, even if you didn't say or somebody was like, well, they were there. They shook their head yes or no. Did you agree? Would you agree with this or would you agree with that? You just shaking your head, yeah, yes or no. Sources saying something about you is going to cause you to get up and walk away from something, because it's almost like it's been driving somebody crazy. Looking at your cards here. Be very careful with that. There's a lot of stuff that's going on social media. Somebody's going to start saying, I don't want to keep hearing the same. Like when certain things you're seeing on social media now, you're saying to yourself, okay, how did people let stuff get so far for so long and never said anything until now? Somebody had to be involved. Like, that's where the common sense is going to come in. Like, when stuff that you're seeing on social media now, you're like, wait a minute now. Hold on. Hold the phone. For real. Like, how did this right here, all this is air. How have people been talking about stuff for so long and nobody took any kind of action? It's just been circulating, just all this going on, just circulating, and nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody ever, like, what is all of this? That is what you're going to start asking questions. You mean to tell me y'all been talking about all of this for all of this time and nobody did anything? Something sounds like a bold-faced lie. That's what somebody's going to say. It's like something don't even sound right. It sounds like it's a motive. So let's see what the motive is. That's what Ace of Swords is. Ace of Swords is about motive. And then this is the motive right here. This is the motive right here. Because somebody walked away and didn't give notice as to why they were walking away. But you got to remember, sword energy, not only is sword energy is it, somebody could have felt like just powerless. Like, you know what? You're just tired of going around people who just keep talking about them behind their back, just sick and tired of it. It's like, it's pointless to keep going around people that keep talking about you, that say they love you, right? It's just pointless. That could have been the only reason. But somebody feels like somebody is holding on to some secrets, and that is the reason for all of this negative comment. It's literally caused some kind of an upheaval. That's why you see all this air on the table. That's why you see all this air on the table. So just so you know, somebody is picking up your emotions. Somebody is picking up your emotions of what's going on. Yep. Somebody's picking up your emotions. Carefully vetting their thoughts. Picking up your emotions. Carefully vetting their thoughts. Yep. Ace of Pentacles here. So, Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You know what comes to mind when I look at your reading here, Capricorn, and we're going to get ready to wrap your reading up because, like I said, this is real short. It's a lot of air here. Somebody has given way too much talking, too much overthinking to something. And Source is saying to you, somebody should have pushed back from a table when you realized people were talking about somebody that you loved behind their back the same way people have talked about you behind your back and said that they love you. Something in your brain, in your mind should say, what is the reason? What is the reason? What is the motive? Like, why? What is it? Whoever it is. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for instance, this is what I'm talking about because we're talking about loved ones here. Let's say you have a cousin that decides they don't want to go around the family anymore, but they've been trying to tell you for years, because this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with loved ones, right? You got a family member that says, you know what? Every time I go around them, all they do is talk about people behind their back. This is what somebody's family member may have said. That's all they do is talk about people behind their back. I don't even feel welcome around them, right? It doesn't really hit until the person gets up and walks away, like takes the sword out and cuts people off. That's when it really hits, because that's the air supply. Nothing living, nothing exists, living, any relationships, any kind of existence, when you cut, until you cut people off, change your number, block numbers, something does not hit until people take that sword out, that power, and take their power back, snatch the plug out the wall. Something doesn't ring, like a bell doesn't go off until somebody says, oh my God, I have no more access to them. Some of these swords symbolize death. Like, people have just gotten tired. Like, y'all mistreat people even on their deathbed. Like, what kind of ruthlessness? This is you looking at right here. It's like, what kind of... So I'm telling y'all, this is the cycle. You're gonna see your full moon, all the full moon videos of full moon prediction videos for October already filmed for everybody. You'll see them go up if you're on Patreon side. Yep, you're gonna end up moving away from you're gonna end up going, just leaving behind the disappointment. It's ridiculous. It's gonna be so clear to somebody why people have moved on from some disappointment to you. It's gonna be so. Let's go along with the line of the cousin. Somebody has a cousin who just decided, you're not going around these people anymore. First, everybody's up in arms because people are like, well, what happened? Does this person know something? Did somebody say something? All of a sudden now now everybody got everything in common. Now 7 is a number for completion, right? So when we talk about the number 7 is very powerful because it is a number for completion. Once somebody decides to get up, 7 also looks like a lightning bolt, and it symbolizes lightning insights, intuitive downloads that come out of the blue, and it lights up the mind. So it's like having a tower moment, which is a 16th card in tarot, right? So 7, 1 and 6, 7 is like people have a lightning strike moment. As soon as somebody gets up and says they're not coming to family functions anymore, or they don't want to be around certain people, or they just one day put their letter of resignation in, all of a sudden a lightning bolt goes through. Now all of a sudden people starting to go back in their mind through memory, because 7, if you look at the number 7, it opens up to the left, the past, right? 7 has a good memory. It enjoys looking back at history to gather wisdom and understanding of the present. So if the number 7 is causing people to now all of a sudden go back and go to history in their mind, now we got to start scrambling and remembering what was said, what was done, who said what. Now all of a sudden it's bringing people together. But by that time, somebody has already pulled the plug and said, done, tied up all the backstabbing, all of that, right? Something is just now coming to your mind like that in terms of your ruling planet Saturn and creating your own boundaries. Like, you're starting to see, I understand why cousin so-and-so don't want to come around anymore. I understand why sister, brother, colleague at work don't want to be invited to the happy hours anymore. All they do is sit around and talk about people behind their back. That is a form of dark magic and spell work. Just because you know about it doesn't mean you're practicing it. In this case, somebody's talking about somebody's sexuality. Just so we're clear. But they're the way that they're doing it is, and like I said, playing all these little silly mind games. All these conversations right here, like if you got to go around your loved ones and you got to walk in there with a armor, or you got to have on the armor, like a helmet on, you got to walk in with like all of this going on. That's not a team you need to be on. This is right here, Ace of Pentacles right here. This is about a partnership, like some kind of a new something new you're manifesting, like some new information, valuable information that you're manifesting, right? So there's something of value. So again, source is saying to you, you're going to eventually move on from the disappointment, just like other people did. I've been saying this in a lot of my readings. It's going to start making sense as to why Uncle so-and-so relocated. It's going to start making sense to why cousin so-and-so, this person relocated. Because people getting tired of that core toxic groups and family. People are sick of it. So that's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm seeing here. So yeah. I'm telling y'all, this is year of wealth. And people are just... They all this hurt conversation going on here. That's why all this, people are trying to take power, take control of a situation. So, like I said, for you, you will eventually move on from something. You will eventually take note and move on, and then it's gonna start making sense. Because if somebody were to tell you right now, Capricorn, I'm talking to you, even if you're on the cusp, whoever's tuned in, if somebody were to tell you right now, that is the reason why certain family members don't come around certain people. It wouldn't, because you all are a earth sign and you deal with the physical existence of things. So it's not like relationships with people you've known the longest are more important to you all, but it's important to earth signs. And there's nothing wrong with that. It keeps you rooted and grounded in the earth. But it's also, it has an air about it, like guilty by association. So even if people love you and they know who you hanging around, a bunch of people who talk about people behind their back, you could literally be sitting there like a scarecrow, but people will think that you are just like them. They'll think you just like them because you're just sitting around, just sitting there in receiving mode. So somebody's going to be reevaluating their heart chakra. So you may want to listen to air sounds. That's another thing to kind of clear the air. You may want to talk to people to kind of clear the air for yourself without the mind games. Yeah. Chariot, somebody's mother. Your mother, somebody's mother, grandmother, whatever, somebody. But someone who feels you felt nurtured by, whoever you felt nurtured by in a healthy way. But I guarantee you, whatever questions you want to know or whatever you want to ask, I feel like the sword of truth will come out. So it's the same, but if you're listening to a bunch of hurt conversations around things, people talking about people behind their back instead of talking to people, so it's like, it's only making things worse for you. It's only making things worse for you. So, seeing your wishes being fulfilled. 9 of Cups. Yeah. I see your wishes being fulfilled. Here we have the Queen of Cups. Along the lines of sexuality, since we see the rainbow here in this particular card here, in this day and time, depending on where you are in some parts of the world, there's some parts where people can't openly discuss whatever, and so you want to be sensitive to that. But in some parts of the world, people are a little bit more openly discuss whatever they discuss, whether you are wherever, asexual, hetero, whatever the situation is. But Source is saying, if it's hurting you to sit and be in receiving mode of listening to people, like if you're saying, okay, these are loved ones talking about other people that they say they love, remember the saying that a lot of you all left under one of my last videos was like, if what is it, some of y'all put under there, if a dog brings a bone or something, y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all put the comment under under the videos, right? Be very careful with that, because that doesn't make anybody feel good. That is not love. That doesn't make anybody feel loved, and it doesn't make people want to be around. So Source is really trying to put you at the helm of some kind of a leadership situation, both in your personal and your professional life, and helping you to learn how to create some new traditions. If we talking about people's, you saying you love somebody, and this is what your display of love is, then please leave my name off the list. That's what you all are gonna be saying. Leave your name off. You only want to be a part of something. Just take your name off the list. Two of Cups here. Yeah, Two of Cups here. Yeah, Judgment. Some people tired of being judged. You're trying to, this is right here, Judgment card connects us with Pluto, which is currently Pluto's, so somebody, there could be a Leo involved in something, because I'm seeing a lion head right here. There could be a Leo or possibly a water sign that you may have felt, this is the I feel sign, judged by. You could have felt like somebody judged your mom or your grandmom or your great grandmom or somebody, because this is Cancer, which is the mother of the zodiac. Could have judged your mom or somebody, grandmom or somebody. You felt like somebody was judging you. You felt judged by people judging you, but it's like something has taken on a whole nother form though. Like, it's not even about their like the conversations, whoever I'm talking to, even if you're on the cusp, you may have felt like, even if they were polyamorous, this could be part of the, they were that community or whatever, you could have felt judged by just the conversations around somebody's past sexual experiences or your sexual experiences or whatever the case may be. Source is saying to you, if you got to put the armor on around people who say they're your friends or they love you or whatever the case may be, it's time to redefine some stuff. That's very painful. It causes people to get depressed and sad. And so Source is saying you got the Two of Cups here, Two of Cups here. And somebody is starting to feel like, okay, I'm starting to feel how, that's you're starting to feel how other people feel, being around those types of energies. And that is why some people just say, you rather take your water somewhere else. You rather take your water somewhere else, right? You rather not be around certain people. Some of these people right here that are doing all of this talking, they're coming from a very hurt place. Something about them is very hurt. They feel powerless in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So we can delve deeper into why they feel powerless, but the issue that I feel like somebody is going to be handling right now is just getting away from them. Because if you all feel this powerless, you've been talking around something for so long that seems like it's generational, because this is right here. Pluto is a generational planet. It's the outermost planet. Something that's generational. Why haven't somebody done something about something sooner? Because it seems almost like, okay, it's too many people got some stuff in common. What is going on? What's really going on, right? So that's what Source is trying to help somebody learn how to do, is like, okay, it's time to create boundaries and enforce some boundaries and just create some new rules and some new traditions here. Two of Wands here. So you have a whole world of opportunities that lie ahead. I feel like somebody may be traveling. Here's the maybe learning how to travel the globe. It's something that you're no longer, this person has it back to like the past. Somebody's like, you're no longer inspired to be around certain people anymore. You don't even want to be, you only want to be around them anymore. Whoever it is, you only want to be around them anymore. Whoever they are. So it's going to start making sense. It's going to start making sense to some people. Here we have the Ten of Cups. Yeah. Some things are going to start making sense. Page of Swords. Somebody has a lot of ideas of just being an open book, right? So now somebody may start learning how to keep some things close to the cuff. Like, okay, you was an open book about, you may have said to yourself that you were an open book. You may have said, I was an open book about such and such. Now you feel like you walk in a tightrope and this kind of thing. And again, a lot of it has to do with Capricorn. If you're trying to make connections with, other human beings, which is normal. Actually, it's very normal to try to make connections with other human beings. But as soon as you try to make connections with other human beings by being an open book, see how this person has an open book with a lot of words on it, right? Then immediately it's like, okay, you've now, unless you have on this armor that protects you from people's judgment of you or judgment of your loved ones, Source is saying, then people feel like they have the power to talk any kind of way, sideways, to, about, whatever, about how many times a person has been married, how many kids they have, by whomever. So it's just like you're just like basically handed a sword to somebody to hurt a loved one. And so source is saying you want to know, you also want to learn how does that feel on the receiving side. Like if a person gives some information about you to hurt you. So that's what somebody is learning how to do as you're moving on from. So your anxiety about something will be going away very, very soon. So I'm telling y'all, source keeps trying to put y'all in leadership positions, not just as far as money is concerned. Not just as far as money is concerned. I'm telling you. And not only that, I feel like somebody has also, speaking of money, somebody is also working really hard on their divine masculine side. Like learning how to keep things close to the cuff, learning how to really listen, like read the room. See this right here, read the room. Read the room. What movie was this? Hold on. Y'all know I got to refer to a movie because it's not by coincidence that something came to mind. The movie Philadelphia came to mind. Who played in Philadelphia? Who played? Let me get my mind together. Who played in the movie Philadelphia? It's an older movie. Philadelphia movie. The cast. Okay, Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, Antonio Banderas, Jason Robards, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Who else? Joanne Woodward, Bradley Whitford. Just a lot of people that played in the movie, right? But Philadelphia, the cast. There's a scene, for those of you all who have seen the movie, it came out in 1993. So for some of you all, you may not have even been born in 1990. I don't know. Maybe you were too young, maybe in 1993. Or just too young to remember this movie. But there's a scene in that particular movie. This is kind of sort of like when, and trigger warning. Just I got to say trigger warning here. Because I'm talking about sexuality. But and not to link necessarily the two together. We're talking about how people judge people and how harsh that can be, right? There's a scene in the movie where these guys are sitting around a locker room after they finished working out. I think they were after they finished working out, right? And Tom Hanks' character, was kind of new to this club, like kind of new to this sports club. And so he was sitting around reading the room. He was reading the air of the room and what people were talking about. And, they were making all of these really phobic comments about people. And he, at that moment, decided, okay, he can't talk about certain things because, people are making these comments about, him or talking about his group of people and those kind of things. Source is saying you're going to start learning how to read a room as a leader yourself, and it's actually going to tie into your leadership in the workplace, Capricorn, because you're going to start getting a sense of just how people think. Just what people talk about, what they think, who you want to align yourself with, who you don't want to align yourself with. It's going to make the difference between you feeling like you can openly, freely talk about certain things and you can't. You will, literally feel like, okay, some places are a safe space to talk about things and some places are not. Whether you're talking about religion, spirituality, sexuality, whether you're talking about who your favorite team is in terms of like sports team or your comfortability, like what Source is saying, when you go into spaces and you're just an open book and you're just sharing stuff, you literally either going to have to be a person that's going to be at that moment say, okay, I may have shared too much because I heard a like a judgment or a a look, or somebody may have responded in a way that came across as judgmental, that could be hurtful down the long run, where you say, okay, that's why I need to stop myself from talking about. I don't need to go back and try to clean anything up. I don't need to, because at that point I'm not under their judgment. I just realize, you know what, I'm still an open book, and at this point people are just, will try to use your words against you at some later date, come back to bite you later. That's what somebody is learning as a leader, right? Even as you're going to start moving up in whatever company that you're in, it's, sometimes you send out emails to certain things that may say something, and that person ends up being your boss. Sometimes or you may have to, maybe y'all both end up in leadership positions, but something may have been said early in the career that now that person says the only thing we have in common is that we started on the same day. That's it. Because you said something that just rubbed me the wrong way. It's like and so at that point, it's like, okay, you feel pointless, right? So it's trying to help somebody learn how to recognize, being an open book in the wrong spaces, even if it's your own blood relatives, can hurt you. It can hurt you. It can come back to bite you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It can cause the people that you love the most, if you just sitting there just like in receiving mode, it can cause the people that you love the most to say they are moving on, because somehow it sends out the air that you're aligning with energies that have done them so much hurt and so much damage. Put yourself in that sense. The example that I gave you of, like, if you walk in a room and you're in the workplace and I see somebody getting a raise or increase, you walk into a room at work with people and you see your lunch buddy, for instance, sitting amongst people who don't like you. They've talked about you, you've overheard them, all kinds of stuff, but they sitting amongst them, instantly it creates distrust. Instantly. Even if they say, oh no, I had just walked in here to get something out the refrigerator, and I just sat down for a minute, it's still they're sitting with the energies that cause you some pain. Somebody's going to learn. Somebody is going to learn. It creates an air of just distrust. It just creates an air of distrust. So, is the Ace of Pentacles here, which is something you've been trying to manifest. Source is saying you've been trying to manifest some money, but again, where is the money going to come from, and who are you teaming up with? Who have you been aligning with? Your gifts have actually increased, right? Your gifts have increased. It's you versus you. It's not you versus anybody else, but always bet on you. Your ancestors have a message for you. Yeah. Somebody that you were in a relationship with wants to call you, but they haven't changed. And I'm talking about like in a romantic situation. They haven't changed. Could have been somebody you thought about marrying at one point. You could have been married to them. Maybe you're not anymore. But they want to call you, but they still haven't changed their stance, because for them it's generational. It's something that caused them a lot of hurt and pain around something around their loved ones. So remember, when we're talking about sexuality, we're not just talking about the LGBTQIA plus community, right? We're even talking about people whose parents co-created them together and separated or got a divorce. Could have caused some very painful. They could still be carrying that pain around with them. That's also sexuality. It could have been somebody that they love in the past, that they created a bond with, rejected them because maybe they wanted to experiment with something. It's a whole lot of different things. Remember, this water right here, so it's saying a lot of conversation is going on about a lot of different things. And so somebody wants to call you, but they haven't changed. And this is somebody that you was either married to or thought about marrying or something, wants to call, but they just haven't changed. So it's you versus you. Your gifts have increased. Your spiritual gifts have increased. It's time to do a throat chakra cleanse, right? And also, don't give yourselves a headache over it, because things are getting ready to start flowing to you like water. But somebody says something to you you don't recognize that they are a druid. They are kind of a malevolent nocturnal spirit associated with nightmares. Something that somebody said to you was so piercing, so hurtful about either you or your loved ones is causing you nightmares. And so source is saying to you, that's where you got to pull out the sword and start cutting energies off. And so that's why it's going to make sense to somebody when people have decided to come through, and once they took the 10 swords out of their back, they cut every last one of those people off, all of them. Because if I can't turn around, that's you saying if you can't turn around and like without swords being in your back around people who say that they love you, they won't help you, but they don't, then what's the use of even being around people that's not love for you, right? Time to ground yourselves. That's right. Time to ground yourself. Somebody's ex wants to return. I'm trying to tell somebody, look, adjust your crown, because that's going to be a no for you. They trying to box you in, like in terms of the way you thinking. They like trying to control the way that you think about something. So document your dreams day and night, and there are signs all around you. Signs all around you. Much better lies ahead. Yeah. There it is. To the no. You are definitely not going backwards. So that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta learn how to read the room. Somebody's learning how to read the room. That's everybody. Everybody has been the brunt of jokes. Everybody has been talked about behind their back. The source is like after a while, you're gonna have to start saying, okay, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna kind of read the room and see what people are talking about, what their prejudices are, what their facial expressions are when they're talking about certain people. But they do stand there and smile in people's faces, but talk about them behind their back. Okay, got it. Loud and clear. Yeah, you balancing out your divine masculine to your divine feminine. So here we have the Ankh, right? There it is. Somebody is learning. You are learning, because people get tired of just being around backstabbers. For real, that's in your personal and your professional life. So again, that's the moon in Libra. That's the moon in Libra. Moon in Libra is all about practicing receiving, trusting, asking for equal and exchange and just exchange. That's it. You're not asking anybody any more than what you were giving them. You've been giving people information. You want information exchange. What's your name? What's your name? Okay. Where your family from? Like you asking for just exchange. You know. Oh, your cousin is in the such and such. Yeah, okay, and part of a community where somebody was married how many times? Okay, well, how many times was some? Were you ever married? Would you believe in living with somebody before you get married? Okay, what's your belief systems on that? Like that kind of stuff. So it's just saying you're not giving people the ability, giving them your power by letting them completely judge you. So here we have, I am free to be me. Affirmations for freedom. I am free to be me. I am free to live fully. I am present in this moment. I am not bound by my circumstances. I am stronger than fear or doubt. I have the power to create a new reality. Yeah. So yeah, somebody's ex wants to return, but that's going to be a big no. That's a big no, because they've already done the damage. And starting to see, okay, you're learning how to take your power back. You're learning how to take your power back. So good for you. That's right. Take your power back. Balance it out. Balance it out. People think that stuff is cute. And talking about people behind their back. They don't care if they're causing people nervous breakdowns or anything. Okay, beauty ritual. Yeah, beauty ritual. So I feel like somebody's going to start pampering themselves more. I'm talking to men and women. I feel like you want to start pouring into you more, like doing the mirror work, doing stuff to just kind of like, taking some time to just kind of, like I said, pamper yourself more, right? So I am worthy of the very best in life and lovingly allow myself to accept what comes my way. Yeah. Connect with fire. Yep, you're tossing something to a burning bowl. Connecting with fire. So, yeah, people have been, like I said, you may have been an open book. That's a conversation, for real. That's a conversation with your loved ones and just saying, hey, listen, I talked to some people. I told them X, Y, and Z. Once they judged you based on, your feelings about them. They could have judged your mom or dad, the sacrifices that they made, whatever, whoever. And once they start judging you, I just had to cut them off. I had to cut them off. Those are sacrifices you made, right? You're not going to be sacrificed. So, hey, listen, y'all remember what I'm talking? Y'all know what I'm talking about, Capricorn. It's like people would say, you know, you may know the truth about some people, but they can't. They haven't earned that to talk negatively about whoever, right? And so source is saying it's trying to help you with understand setting boundaries and enforcing your own boundaries. So that's what this is. Yeah, that's what this is. Your head and heart may have been at war at first, but somebody's saying, listen, in order for you to be a leader, you're gonna be a leader in your personal and your professional life. So yeah, here we have strength. Yeah, so yep, that's right. Tapping into your strength, learning how to tap into your strength. All right, y'all. That's it. That's it, and that's all. Yeah. Some people love to sit in judgment of other people and their families, but they won't look at their own families. So, yeah, where they do that at? What planet is that on, right? 11, I am intuitive. So you have keen awareness of what's happening around you. A strong intuition is your gift and will help you to understand the unspoken feelings and thoughts of others. This insight allows you to be a great guide and supporter. Great guide and supporter. Yeah. That is what I have for you. Thank you for joining me, Capricorn. I will see you all in the next video. Here are the questions for the moon and Libra. First question, is your work bringing more peace, justice, beauty, and harmony to the world? And then how could you amplify that? Second question is, what would happen if you spend more time with people who are completely at peace with themselves? That is key. Because the people who are at peace with themselves are not sitting around talking about other people. They talking about ideas about how to make people's lives better. They're not sitting around making disparaging comments about other people, hurtful stuff about other people. Right? How many times they've been married, you know, whether they're gay or straight or what part of whatever community, what they heard about other people. They're spending more time flipping through pages, taking notes to use to try to hurt somebody, trying to play all these chess games and mind games to hurt people. Sources saying is giving you some idea of what you're stepping into when you deal with those type of energies, because they'll do the same thing to you. Third question is, do you receive as much as you give or vice versa? Fourth, which small steps could you take to create more beauty in your space? And then last but not least is, what would happen if you were to shift from complaining to a permanent sense of gratitude? So yeah, y'all got it. Y'all got it. That's what I have for you. Thank you for joining me. And like I said, continue getting your rest this week, because we enter into on the 11th, I believe, we have the first quarter moon. And so this could be a very positive cycle for a lot of people, because we're going to have a super moon in Aries. And y'all hear more about it in your prediction video for those of you all who are on the Patreon side. This is a great time for people to use all this wisdom and knowledge that has been, your mind has been clouded with so much negativity about people. Source is saying to you, where you can now replace all of that with something positive, new books that you're reading, new something where you can create something that's going to make you money, put you in a leadership position to make you some more money, to create opportunities for other people, right? Travel, do all kinds of stuff. So it's like you're going to be switching some stuff out. You're going to be switching some stuff out. That is what I have for you. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.